Welcome to Hope Channel International. In this video, learn more about bringing your children to Jesus, as Dr. Barry Black recounts his own experience of getting to know Jesus through others.
We need to learn to bring children to Jesus. Where else could you take them and have their lives transformed? We need to talk to the children about the mighty acts of God in our history so that their lives can be transformed by His living presence. Bring the children to Jesus. In Mark 10, that is exactly what the parents were doing. They were bringing little children to Jesus for Him to place His hands on them. But they were rebuked by the disciples and stopped by the disciples. Now, the Greek word for child in this instance refers to someone up to the age of 12. So some of these children were quite old, and yet they were brought to Jesus. When I look at my background and my history, I don't know where I would be if there had not been friends and neighbors who brought me to Jesus. They would find little odd jobs that I could do in the inner city so that I could have a little money in my pocket and not be tempted to involve myself in deviancy, in evil. They were bringing me to Jesus. They were encouraging me and telling me that God was going to do something special with my life. I remember a dear sister, Albertha Brown, who used to let me come over her house after school at 3 o'clock each day. I would go with Sister Brown's children, and she would prepare a wonderful meal. And I would sit in that home and watch her putting out the plates, and there was always a place for me at that table. It was a nourishing meal. She was bringing me to children, recognizing the fact that even though I was not her biological child, she still had a responsibility to help me move into the future, prepared to contribute to our society and our world. So if we're going to refuse to block the door to heaven and to bless our children, we need, my friends, to bring them to Jesus. But when we bring them to Jesus, there's a second thing that we need to do, and that is to seek God's blessing on our children. These parents in Mark 10 did not bring their children to Jesus so that their children could get an autograph from our Lord. They wanted Him to touch their children. They wanted Him to bless their children. And desiring that God will bless the child and positioning children for a blessing is one of the greatest things that you can do in the life of a child.